Friday nights are really rocking at 6.
And now, the moment that we have been waiting for is nigh upon us. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Holmes, and this is Next Case, and this is my backstage pass that I wore right here on this leg when I went to the Omni here in Atlanta last week to talk to Genesis. I had the opportunity to interrupt their sound check, talk to Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks as well. We're going to take a look at those interviews as well as the music of Genesis and the music of Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. We hope you enjoy it. And now, Genesis.
Talk to me. You never talk to me. Ooh, it seems that I can speak, but I can't hear my voice shouting out.
everybody. Dave Holmes here for the Video Music Channel. Got a special treat for you right now. We're going to take a pause in the music, and I can't think of any better reason to pause than to talk with Phil Collins of Genesis.
Hello.
The sound check's over. Big show tonight.
Yes.
Big show in Atlanta at the Omni.
It's been a long time since we've been here, actually. We're now hitting a point in the tour where we're playing places that we've either never been to or we haven't been for a while. Last night we were in Nashville, which we haven't been to for a long time, and tonight we're in Atlanta, which it must be about 6 or 7 years, I guess, since we were here.
Wow, that long.
I think it was 1977, maybe 76 we were last here.
When Phil Collins wakes up in the morning and you're wiping off your face, you know, and waking up, you look in the mirror, you gotta feel pretty good about yourself. The way,
not after I look in the mirror.
Going, right, dude?
Sure, yeah, everything's been going very, very well. This tour, especially, has been is at a time when a lot of bands have played in about. So we're very pleased with that. Obviously, because we haven't played for a while, we're going to have a 2/3 full house probably. But every other place we played, like, you know, the 3 nights in Philadelphia, 2 nights in New York, 3 nights in Chicago, 2 nights in Cleveland. Places like that in Buffalo, which has never sold out. It's never sold out for anybody. Sold out for. I mean, it's just been a great tour. And the vibe from the people have been really nice. They like the new songs as well as the old songs, which isn't always the case, because quite often they take to the new songs a little less kindly because they don't know them so well.
It's like a jungle sometimes. Sometimes I wonder. It's like a jungle sometimes I wonder.
Sound as good as yesterday? Do what? Does that sound as good as yesterday?
So how do you go about structuring the show, given the vast amount of material to draw upon?
This is the source of one of my stories on stage, in fact. Well, no, the thing is, we have got 15 albums to choose from, and we like to sort of go back a little bit and play some stuff that we have never played, if possible, or haven't played for a long, long time. I mean, there are still some songs that we've never played since Peter left, and there are some songs we never played with him. So we try and sort of do as much of the new stuff as possible, because that's the fresher stuff for us, and we also, you know, the stuff we're more excited about. But we also like to go back and take something from at least every album, if possible. We do a smattering of The Lamb Lies Down, and bits of Trick of the Tail, and Duke, and Abacab. Quite a lot. We don't do, we do bits of Wind and Wuthering. I think we cover most of our history, really, one way or the other.
You mentioned Peter Gabriel. Was his leaving the band, was that a real critical time for Genesis? Because the critics were also talking about you in the past tense.
Right. Well, that was a bit frustrating, because at the time we all agreed, Peter and ourselves, that we had the same management company and everything. I mean, it was pretty amicable, really, the whole thing. Any adverse comments must have been just made up, because there was really nothing bad going down at all. But we did agree to say nothing until we had something to come up with. And, you know, like if we had an album to release or whatever. So we were rehearsing, and somehow someone got hold of the story, and Melody Maker printed it first, and it was on the front page of Melody Maker. Gabriel quits Genesis. Genesis obviously finished. And we were in the middle of making A Trick of the Tail, or writing A Trick of the Tail, and so we knew that it wasn't going to be out for 3 months, and that was a very frustrating period, sort of people burying you, like premature burial, really. I mean, you were being buried before you were actually dead, you know, and it was, we were saying, hang on, we've got this great album we're doing. And, you know, stuff like Squonk, Win Los Endos, and Dance on a Volcano, which became very good stage tunes and still are. They were all on that album, and we just felt we had something good. And, you know, when the album came out, people said, oh, well, still a good group. But,
Surprise of surprises to everyone, of course, but,
yeah.
but
We knew
you.
that we would carry on, you know, if nothing else, just to prove to people that it was a 5-piece group and not a singer and a backing group.
We're going to toss one of your videos right now. We're going to take a look at that, and then we'll be back to continue our conversation with Mr. Phil Collins. Stay with us.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Oh Lord, well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there, I saw what you did. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord. I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence. No, you don't believe the hurt doesn't show. But the pain still grows. Some strangers to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, but I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord, but I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord, well, I've been waiting for this moment.
TV 69, the video music channel.
here, I don't care anymore. I don't care no more. You listen, I don't care no more. No more. Oh, yeah, yeah.
We're back, and of course the face that you see is Phil Collins. Phil, was that added pressure when you had to get out from behind the drums to become a frontman, basically because you were doing all the lead vocal chores after Peter Gabriel left the group?
It was, I guess, it's one of those sort of pressures that I didn't really notice. I was very into doing it. I mean, Peter definitely left. He wasn't pushed. He wasn't, you know, elbowed out because I wanted to do it or anything. He left, and when faced with the situation, and we couldn't find a singer. Originally, we tried to look for a singer, and we auditioned lots of people, but we couldn't find anybody that we liked enough, either as a writing partner or that sounded better than I did when I was teaching them the songs. So I ended up being the singer, and as soon as the album had been done, that was Trick of the Tail, as soon as we did the album and we went out on the road, as soon as the first gig was over, I knew exactly, you know, what I had to do. I mean, I was being thrown in at the deep end as far as the singer's concerned, because I'd sung, but I hadn't sung lead in a group that was, you know, at that point we were getting to be quite successful. So, you know, usually bands with singers, the singers have that amount of years behind them, you know, as experience, but I didn't. So it was a bit of a crash course, really, in sort of singing and being a front man, but I enjoyed it because I liked the responsibility.
How did you come about choosing Can't Hurry Love? It's a great video clip, and of course starring you in all the roles.
Well, it was a pretty obvious idea to do it like a Motown, old Motown video, when they always used to wear suits that were slightly too small for them. And in fact, I couldn't get a silver lame suit. I really wanted to try and get one that fitted me. They were all sort of they fitted too well. So I had to go for the blue one, which was actually a little too small. And the reason I chose the song was because I grew up with the Beatles and Motown in the 60s, and that was really that's what I listen to even now, you know, like the greatest hits of Motown and all the Beatles albums. So the 60s are really sort of something that I'd like to draw back on whenever I can. And I did a Beatles song on face value, and I thought, one idea one day was I wanted to do a Motown song. And I was going to do Going to a Go-Go, then the Stones did it, so I couldn't do it. And then I had a little short list, because there are lots and lots of songs that I could have done.
Well, where do you start?
Yeah. But You Can't Hurry Love was one of those songs I thought everybody would have heard it, but not a lot of people would remember it.
Honey, love, ooh, ease my mind. And I need to find time, someone to call mine. My mama said you can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, but it's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love. No, you just waiting in line. But would you say if I was wasting my time? Did I miss again? I think I missed again. Oh, I missed again. I think I missed again. Oh, I missed again. I think I missed again. I missed again.
As an artist, given the extent now that video clips are getting exposure, almost in a lot of ways video clips are being played as much as records are.
Yeah.
Yet there is really no, I guess, structure to start getting back some of the royalties, or have a very similar royalty structure, you know, for the videos.
Well-
is that going to come about, you think?
I don't know. It was a very interesting situation when it started. I mean, to be honest, you see, before even the advent of video television, bands were making videos, promotional videos. I mean, the Beatles made them in 1966 for Strawberry Fields Forever, for instance. And although it was film instead of video, they were still for the same use, to be shown when they couldn't appear on a television show. So and for some of those records weren't hits. I mean, theirs was, but I mean, some bands over that period of time made lots and lots of promotional films, and the records weren't hits, so those films were useless. Now, with the advent of video television, it meant that bands could actually, you know, get those videos seen, and it was at least some kind of promotion, and it also meant that you hadn't made this great video for nothing. So, so when MTV first started, for instance, it was great to have that outlet. And to be honest, we never thought about getting money for it. I mean, we just thought it's great that people want to show the videos we made, you know. But I suppose now, I don't often think about it, but now, obviously, it's such a there are so many programs showing videos, and so many things like MTV, which is a whole